So before we even get things started with this one, I want to give a big thank you to every one of you who have been here for all the DABI and Todoroki family content lately. With such a big moment in the manga, we of course had nothing but ideas to share, and you guys have really been here for it. So thank you for going as hard as you do, and with this one we will be keeping up the trend by talking a bit hypothetically in regards to the path of DABI. At this point, the man has certainly dealt one of the biggest blows to heroic society in history, but was originally intended to become one of, if not its greatest, hero. And so I would love to properly explore such a possibility and consider what DABI would be like as a hero. So like Shoto, from pretty much the moment his quirk manifested, Toya was trained to surpass All Might. This was of course an incredibly daunting task, but one that, at least for a time, Toya was eager to accomplish. His fire was described to be superior to that of his father Endeavor's, and although he lacked the desired ice quirk of his mother, had so much firepower that his potential could not be denied. However, his quirk was not without complications. Whereas Endeavor merely overheats on account of excessive quirk usage, Toya's flesh would begin to burn, as his output was just that powerful. As such, finding this weakness to be unavoidable, Endeavor moved on, discarding any hopes of Toya one day becoming a hero. Now, this was certainly painful for Toya. This was a future and a dream that he had been promised from as far back as he could remember, only to have it stolen from him and handed to others. This is the pain and resentment that led to the path of villainy for DABI. But I truly believe that it could have very well been the true start of a path of heroism for Toya. In the beginning, I'm sure Toya, like most young children, saw the absolute best in his father and probably even idolized him. His father, one of the greatest heroes in the nation, but in both cases, hero and villain, would have this outlook shattered by his father's heinous pursuits. DABI, in his public address to the Japanese people, mentioned that he had seen the physical abuse of his younger brother Shoto, abuse that he suffered even as their father's prized favorite. With this, I don't think Toya's mentality has to change much for him to be a hero, as all he would have to do is recognize Endeavor to be a villain. The thing is that Endeavor's crimes are irrefutable. He was abusive and neglectful, both mentally and physically, towards both his children and his spouse. And that, by its lonesome, could very well serve to ruin both his reputation and aspirations in the event that his kids be taken away from him, effectively fulfilling DABI's dream without the expense of innocence. Truly, the only moral conflict I can imagine that would keep any of them from doing this would be the knowledge that for as horrible a father as the man may be, he is the number 2 hero, and at that, even including All Might at the time, had the most resolved cases for any hero. And so by extension, to take him down in this way would be to make Japan a far less safe place to live. So what would a heroic Toya do in the face of this complication? I believe he would rise to the occasion. He would fulfill the role of his father and surpass him in every aspect. In that case, the loss would not be a problem, and he would doubly be able to prove Endeavor wrong about him. And if this were to have been the case, Toya would need to train on his own time. The regulation of his fire would be vital to his development as a hero, as to avoid charring his own flesh. Then again, this world is populated by some bizarre looking people, so it wouldn't be the strangest thing ever for him to look like he does. Hopefully, he could avoid setting any buildings on fire with him in it. But you know what, even with his bodily weakness, there is no doubt in my mind Toya had heroic potential. It's just that Endeavor only wanted the best of the best, a candidate for future number 1 hero. Otherwise, any of the other Todoroki kids could have been made into great heroes as well. Now, an interesting point DABI made when taunting his father was in relation to Endeavor's hero agency. Now, this is an agency full of fire-based quirk wielders, and so similarly to how Shoto goes there for his field studies, Toya could have done the very same, albeit learning less from Endeavor directly and more from his peers. But don't get me wrong, he would still, like Shoto, be doing all this with intentions of using Endeavor to go beyond Endeavor. His resentment towards his father would serve as a motivator, just like how it does for him as a villain. But in this case, he'd refuse to cross that line as to avoid becoming the very thing that he despises. Now, on another note, his younger sister Fuyumi was born under the pretense that she'd be able to support and help her older brother, and that he would in turn be able to help and support her. And so in this alternate reality, in them both being cast aside, he could have still sought her help. And additionally, with the closeness of his relationship to his little brother Natsuo, would have two ice-based siblings to watch his back. Because again, he doesn't need to be the greatest hero ever, at least not alone. That's Endeavor's dream, not his. And finally, as a means of avoiding the self-destructive nature of his quirk, Toya would in theory have been able to better control the issue by way of support items, typically only provided to professional heroes or heroes in training. As the son of Endeavor, I doubt Toya would have a hard time getting a hold of something like this. And if privilege doesn't come to his rescue, at the very least being a hero in training would. The extent to which it would be able to help isn't so clear, but considering DABI has absolutely none but is able to do all that he does, I'd say any improvement is a welcome one. For Toya, surpassing his father would be different, and being better than his father would mean truly becoming a proper hero. A journey that he would be able to begin by saving his very own family from the villainy of Endeavor. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, as this role swap series of ours is always plenty of fun to create. Let me know what you guys think about all this and what you think of Touya Todoroki the hero in the comments down below. My Hero Academia is on fire right now, and so are we. So to keep up with all that's happening and all that we have to contribute, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications, as we are rapidly approaching that glorious 100K milestone. And if you'd like to be my hero and support the plot army further, go ahead and check out our Patreon, linked in the description. There you'll be able to access a whole slew of benefits that include the art that we use in our thumbnails and otherwise, as well as some exclusive content not available here on YouTube. I really hope to see you guys with the next one, because when it comes to bringing you some of the best My Hero Academia content on the platform, Plot Armor has you covered. As always, I am Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.